You have to remember, season 1 was made when the pandemic was still on. And there was no theater on, there was no musical theater, there was no Broadway, there was no live performances. And this script came where we were going to be able to make a television show and incorporate all of our love for Broadway and musical theater. And it was like, I really felt like it was a glowing little gift that came.
So I always like to start by asking, how did you get your SAG card? What was the job that brought that card? And I know a lot of you started in theater, so this answer may surprise us. Aaron?
I shot a guest star spot on a Lifetime pilot in 2006, I believe. Yeah, it was the first on-camera thing I ever did, and I think they just instead of doing like the points and the must join, I think they just kind of rushed me through, and I just joined right away.
And did it ever see the light of day?
No, never saw the light of day. I played Robin Givens' assistant, and it never saw the light of day.
Wow. Was somebody a killer or a stalker in it?
There was definitely a killing and stalking element. I think I don't quite remember. I think I was some version of a terrible person also. I think I covered some stuff up for her. We shot it in this like amazing courthouse in Philadelphia. I'd never been on camera before. I'd never been on a set before, and I was like in the witness stand. Oh, Christian Campbell was in it too. It was Robin Givens and Christian Campbell, and yeah, that was my first time ever on set.
I want to find this. I got to talk to Lifetime.
I don't even remember what it was called. Yeah.
Jane, for you?
You remember, you just don't want us to.
Right.
Mine, I started doing a lot of commercials. So I think at that time, I don't know if it's still this way, but you had to do like 3 commercials before you could earn to pay to get in. So yeah, I did. I think I got it on the Cling Free commercial. I did like Bubble Yum and Cling Free. I'm very good at blowing bubbles. So yeah, I did 3 commercials and then took it the minute we were able to join.
Do you have blowing bubbles under your special skills? Because I think most of you have seen episode 3 that came out this week. She does everything in bells and whistles. I don't see sparkler work.
Sparkler work is hilarious. I don't know if blowing bubbles was on my special skills, but yes, thank you. In that number, I do get to pull out all the bells and whistles that I had in my own personal arsenal, and then also learn how to do trapeze, which I had never done, which I was given the gift where it said in the script, Bobby Flanagan enters the courtroom on a trapeze, and I was like, yes, first. And then I was like, and then there was no other reference to it. And I was like, well, if you guys are building it and paying it and opening the ceiling, can I do some tricks on it? And they were like, well, do you know any? And I said, no, but I'd love to go to trapeze school. And interestingly, we were filming in Vancouver, and there was a trapeze school literally next to our studio.
Yeah, you said that the last time. It was not, it's the only trapeze school there is. There's like 50, and one happened to be next to the studio.
So whenever I had like a day off, or they would let me go there, or if I was filming it later in the day, I could go in the morning and
amazing
have a blast flying on a trapeze and learning whatever I could learn to put into the number. It was super fun, and those are always a gift to me. Any physical challenge I can get to learn something new and do and add a number is like my favorite.
Well, season 3, let Cinco know that you can blow bubbles. And we'll see how that turns out.
That's going to be a really exciting season 3.
Jaime, for you?
I think I got it thanks to Jane the Virgin.
Wow. Okay.
I think Jane the Virgin, yes, that you made the card. I think so. I mean, I'm not sure. I think I got it before, but I'm not sure. So I'm just going to go and stick to this lie that it was Jane the Virgin.
That's a big one.
Thank you.
I honestly, I was a kid when I started, and I felt like my mom was always really stressed about me getting my SAG card. And she was like, not enough. And I was like, I don't know what. I was like, it was always something that I knew was like something we had to earn, like at least there's some kind of, I think I was like 12 or something. But there is, like, you have to reach a certain echelon, right, in order to qualify. My mom was always like, if you don't get this certain echelon before you turn 18, like, you got to think about becoming a lawyer or something. The easiest transition, it's easy, right, Jane? I know, but my mom was really one of those people. She was like, you got to give yourself a deadline. If you don't reach it by X, what are you going to do? And my whole family's lawyers. And so she was like, think about law school, baby. But I think I got it. I think I waited a long time. I think I did like enough work in 1 year but like not quite enough. I don't remember how it works, guys. But I think I ended up getting it also, for Liv and Maddie, maybe. I think that might have been like, I think that's probably got to be it, right? Thanks, Keegan. Keegan knows, so I think that's it.
Has your mom given up on the lawyer dream yet, or is she still?
I think she's officially given up, yeah. But listen, life is long. Life is long. I got a lot of lawyers in the family, And who knows? Maybe if I learn trapeze, I hear it's like half the work, right? It's like that's most of it, right?
Well, actually negotiates our contract first.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I think it was 1996, and I did a mini mart commercial in Pennsylvania, in central Pennsylvania, because I went to Penn State for graduate school. Penn State, all right. Look, there's only depending how many, there's always going to be at least two in the room, always. And so so that was when I got my SAG card on that commercial. So much like Jane, I did with the commercial route. But I remember just standing on and it was the same thing, Aaron. Like I had never done anything, and they're like, "You're going to stand here on this this thing's going to circulate. It's going to circulate. Stand, keep your balance, and then you're going to float through the air next to sodas." And Hostess pies and stuff like that. And you're supposed to look around in wonderment. And I just remember being on this thing. It was like that circular thing in Les Mis, It was like this had never been on set. And there was just a few of those things where it was just like, okay, we're going to start turning the thing, Guy. That was my name, Guy. Guy number 4, we're going to start turning the thing. Okay, start turning the thing. So, yeah.
Amazing. Well, again, congratulations on a second season. You've all been with the show since the beginning. Yes. I would actually love to go back to the beginning because, Cinco Paul, one of the creators, said the other day that the biggest compliment is when people come up and say, I feel like this show was made for me. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way about it. At the same time, hearing about it, there are many ways this could have gone wrong. Like, it's actually a miracle what you put out every week. It's so good. So starting with Keegan, when this idea first came to you, how did they pitch it to you? And were you a musicals fan? Were you instantly into it?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I adore musicals and have since I started. I think a lot of people, you start in high school and you start doing musicals in high school, and I'm no exception to that. And so when I heard that, I love high concept stuff. So when I heard that it was going to be this thing called Schmigadoon based on this plot from Brigadoon, I thought, what an interesting concept. And I was in, and then of course after I was in, then I found out I was the only person who wasn't going to sing. So I was like, wait a second, I don't sing. Wait, I don't sing. Like no, you don't sing, and you also hate musicals. I was like, well, this is going to be an acting challenge for me. So yeah,
that's silly because in The Prom, you're that guy who loves musicals.
Yeah, I played the exact opposite character in The Prom. That's right. It's exactly true. Yeah.
And Dove, for you?
Yeah, I was one of the last people added. I think Aaron and I were the last 2 people added to the cast. And so I had the incredible sort of view from below about all these legends and like mammoth performers having already signed on. And I think I did get to read the script for episode 1. And I remember, again, I'm a huge high concept fan. And so anything that comes my way where it's like, you're in the future, but it's also the past, and everything is 40 feet tall, and you can fly. I'm always like, oh, it's so easy. Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And so the sort of like tone that I could tell Cinco was going for was something that I felt like was pretty clear, even just from reading the text. And I was really excited about potentially entering into a world where you're, making magic with some of the most magical people in the world.
And at what point, if it was during season 1, because your character from season 1 is very different, did they start saying, hey, maybe we can do something different for season 2? And did you realize how different it was going to be?
No, I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't sure how we were ever going to have a season 2. I didn't know what Cinco's plans were. I didn't know what the direction he wanted to take. I didn't know if we'd be staying in Schmigadoon. I didn't know. And I think he started floating around the idea of an anthology sort of right after we wrapped season 1. And I think at the time he maybe asked me if I could play like a Roxy Hart character.
If you could play, he asked you what you thought about playing Sally Bowles. Because remember, he was walking around the set in season 1. You could see that you didn't know what was going on with Cinco. There were just cogs turning. And he was just, and I remember he was telling the story actually earlier today that he just said to you, he said, what do you think about playing Sally Bowles? And you and then whatever your reaction was whatever your reaction was.
And then he asked me if I could tap dance, and I was like, not on your life. But yeah, no. So I didn't know how dark it was gonna go. I don't think any of us did until we got the full 6-episode script. But I was really excited.
Did you learn to tap dance for season 2? Was there a tap dancing school next door?
I also like question that, Jane, because I had never seen this trapeze school, and we were out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, did they build this just for you and just didn't tell you? Like, what is this?
The last turn off before like there was civilization, and then you turned off and there was no more civilization. It was like in that mini mall. It was in a mini mall. Yeah.
Mini mall?
There was an Arby's. It was. Yeah. It's Arby's is the one that sells root beer, right? Yeah. There was an Arby's in the same.
AW.
Oh. I think it was the Arby's.
Eat your burger. Learn how to trapeze. Yeah.
You have to remember, season 1 was made when the pandemic was still on. And I think when we all received the script, it was like a special gift. It was like, it almost had a glow because there was no work being made at the time. I know, me personally, was so missing doing what I love. And there was no theater on. There was no musical theater. There was no Broadway. There was no live performances. And this script came where we were going to be able to make a television show and incorporate all of our love for Broadway and musical theater. And it was like, I really felt like it was a glowing little gift that came. And we made the first season under extremely strict COVID regulations, where we all didn't even get to socialize or see each other at all. We would have all the 3 layers of face masks and obviously a lot of COVID testing. And then we would only take them off when they rolled, and we couldn't socialize. And so it was like, it felt there was so much love, that it was made with like a special kind of love because there was no live theater, musical theater being able to be made in the world. And then it aired while we were still in lockdown. So I think it got a viewership because it was, again, the people that were also missing seeing it live. So it was a very special experience for us, and never imagining that we could maybe get to do it again and be in a whole other world and play all new characters. I know for me, and I think because we've all hung out a lot together now, it's a very special, unique gem of a job for us.
And from my understanding, you only shot 2 days on the first season?
On the first season, yeah. I had it, which is really strange, but I because of my scheduling conflicts, which sounds weird during COVID. I could only film. I filmed 2 days. Yeah.
Jaime, someone had a great question, so I'm just going to steal it from Julia Marley for you.
Sure.
Because your characters in each season are so funny. And how do you remain grounded as an actor while playing such over-the-top characters?
Oh, God. Well, that's, oof. Next question? No.
For the whole cast.
Aaron was...
You're hilarious.
You are hilarious.
Nice. You're like a hilarious person.
Thank you. Yeah, but Sergeant Rivera isn't. Spoiler, end of the last episode he is. But the thing is that Aaron was saying this, that it's incredible how when you live in this crazy universes like Jane the Virgin or Schmigadoon, whatever, you really have to approach them very sincerely and grounded. Because then you become a clown, and you don't want to become a clown inside of this crazy, crazy world that is already so over the top, right? So I think that the most, the grounder, the grounded we are, the more grounded we are, it's much better because it's more believable. It's way more believable, I think, and that's I think that's a trick for when you work in these crazy shows, that you have to keep it like small. The smaller the better.
And by the way, I didn't put this together, but you've played Billy Flynn before, so
on Broadway, yes.
Did you did you give Jane any tips?
What? No, I actually have a bone to pick with you. Because what are you trying to do for all of the Billy Flynns out there, to just destroy our craft? After Bells and Whistles and Bobby Flanagan comes in, what are we supposed to do? What? Go in and say, is everybody here? Is everybody ready? That's it? I want to trapeze next time I go back to Chicago and throw like gold things to the audience and skate with one foot and grabbing Lady Liberty in my. I'm like, what is this?
Do it all.
It's no fair, Jane.
And also, I wasn't aware of this, but Julia pointed out that you and Dove have worked together before in Mamma Mia.
I played the father. Everybody knows that Sam Carmichael is the dad, not the other one.
Agreed.
So, yeah, Dove's my daughter, basically.
Fun.
And Kristen Chenoweth as well. Kristen and I, because she was your mom as well, right? Kristen Chenoweth. So, and Ala Kami was, I don't want to talk about that one. But Kristen Chenoweth and I, we did good, obviously.
Yeah.
We have a great daughter.
And Aaron, for you, what interested you not only in season 1, but coming back with a very different, fun character for season 2?
We shot it in 2020, and when I got the material, I actually couldn't believe what they were even trying to do. It was just such a bold idea. And, my agents did the very, protective agent thing that they said, oh, it's a musical, but don't sing. Don't sing during the audition. They know you can sing, and if they want to see you sing, they'll look it up, right? That's the agent thing. And I was like, I don't know about that. But because I got the scene for season 1, and it was the bench scene. Basically, it was the bench scene from Carousel, and I was like, are they really trying to kind of do this and kind of have Cecily's character able to react to it? And I kind of, this is like when I like to kind of go big or go home when I audition for things. So I just put myself on tape for the scene and then immediately went into If I Loved You from Carousel, the end of the scene. I kind of just ad-libbed into it. And because I was like, I think that's what they're trying to do. If it is, great. And if it's not, I'm going to know right away, right? So it turned out that was what they were trying to do. And I just thought it was so exciting. What an exciting idea to kind of take these, it's kind of... The way that it works for people that don't like musicals is that first season kind of takes the reason that they don't like musicals and allows Keegan to react to that and kind of Cecily to react to it. So I just thought it was so brilliantly constructed. I'd never seen anything like it before. And then, of course, season 2, we just got to come back and really, this was something we never imagined was going to keep going. And so the fact that we all got to come back and play totally different characters, when do you ever get to do that? So it's amazing.
Does Josh still hate musicals, or he hates everything? He hates parables.
Okay, here's my theory about Josh. That what has happened between the 2 seasons is that Melissa has taken Josh to see musicals now, right? So she's gonna give him an education in musicals, and I think that Josh has probably seen about a dozen musicals by now, and he always acts like he's begrudgingly doing it. But really, out of those 12 musicals, there's 3 that he really loves. He just loves deeply in his heart. He won't even really admit it to Melissa. So I think that when they go to Schmigadoon, you can tell in this first episode, for him, it feels like it's now more legitimate in a way because it's darker. When he talks about, he says these things about how it's edgier, like me. Yeah, and so I think that because he knows the rules, he's feeling less intimidated, and so he does enjoy. He enjoys musicals begrudgingly.
Well, he's really into Bobby's Number.
Oh yeah,
he takes part in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how could you not?
How could you not? Exactly right. That's the thing. Busters.
I'm going to steal another audience question for Aaron because it's very good. From Francesca. You've done a live televised musical, Broadway, scripted musical series. What's the biggest challenge for each, and how does the preparation and execution differ?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate that all of the musicals that I've done on camera, which are, a live musical, this series, movie musical, all of them have been live singing, oddly enough. I've never done a musical on camera where it wasn't live singing. And for me, Cinco was talking about this yesterday. I think there's an immediacy to being able to be present and to actually act on camera when it's live, because when the track clicks in and you're lip singing, as an audience member, I always watch and I go, they're lip singing, right? There's just a split second where it takes me out of it. And I think from an acting standpoint, you have to then try to match what you recorded in a studio a month before you ever knew what you were trying to play or your intention was or what the scene was going to look like. So I've been very fortunate that everything that I have done has been live. And I think because of that, it's allowed me to approach it as if I was just approaching anything, right? It's been no different, not a different approach at all, as if I was just working in a TV show or a movie that wasn't singing, because it was just about, the scene and your scene partner and what you're doing, right? So it wasn't, I've never had to change that.
I didn't realize that. That's so interesting. I want to thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
And you wait until you see the rest of the season.